Once again, good afternoon. I am Dr. Margarita Fabella, and I will be your host for this afternoon's Safety Officers Briefing. Let us begin with a prayer to be delivered by Dr. Ryan Rojas.
Let us put ourselves in the presence of our Lord. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Almighty and loving God, we praise you and adore you. Fill our hearts with your love. We thank you for all the many choices, blessings you have given us. We are truly sorry for our sins and shortcomings. We are gathered here today as one family. Grant us the wisdom to enlighten our minds and help us to overcome all the difficulties we are facing. Grant us the courage to show our solidarity in the pursuit of a common good. Enable us to succeed in all our endeavors, all for your greater glory. With your mighty name and with the powerful intercession of our dear Mother, Mama Mary, hear our prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Rojas. To welcome everyone in this very important occasion is none other than our SVP and Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Zenaida Javier Uy.
Good day, everyone. First and foremost, allow me to thank you for agreeing to be a part of this very important initiative of the COVID Task Force. We do not know when this pandemic will end, so we have to remain vigilant. And your role as a safety officer is critical to the containment of this enemy, the COVID-19 virus. I implore you to help us. We need to work together to make our hospitals safe for our patients, but most especially for all the healthcare workers who risk their lives to take care of the patients who come to us. Let us all aim to make a difference in the lives of all the people that we encounter in our daily lives. Good luck to all of us, and I firmly believe that with God's guidance, we will be able to make Cardinal Santos Medical Center a safe hospital for everyone. Again, good day.
Thank you, Dr. Uy, for your welcoming remarks. To aim to make a difference in the lives of people around us is really a goal worth fighting for. Now, please welcome our inspirational speaker, the chairman of the Infection Control Committee, in the person of Dr. Myrna Mendoza.
Training of safety officers is one of the important steps in the development of in Cardinal Santos Medical Center. Safety officers' role used to be the role of the infection control team. But with this outbreak, the team is now overall from the hospital, requirements from local government and the Department of Health, from diagnostics, from the laboratory, from doctors and patients, contact tracing, management concern, and making of daily census. In the hospital, implementation of PCI guidelines and monitoring have always been problems. This COVID pandemic necessitates the need of safety officers to see to it that all health measures and safety protocols are followed in the hospital to prevent the spread of COVID-19 among the hospital staff. As safety officers, you will have the chance to see the proper implementation of our guidelines and processes involved in the care of the COVID patient. We can continuously improve on our protocols and ICC guidelines. If problems in the implementation are identified and remedied right away. While doing your safety walkarounds in the hospital, it is important to take note that the healthcare workers' safety is guarded by the availability and proper use of PPEs. For example, breach in the use of PPE during donning and doffing is the common cause of transmission of droplet and airborne diseases from a patient to the healthcare worker. By just mere observation, the problems and errors can be remedied on the spot. During this pandemic also, we will be the quality improvement team of the Infection Control Committee. You have the check of testing the effectiveness of the ICC guidelines, protocols, and checklists. You can recommend measures to reduce or simplify steps if needed. Your evaluation is needed to improve and safe guidelines for the hospital staff. Let us all build a safety culture amongst us so that no more healthcare worker gets COVID from the hospital. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mendoza. Coming from the chairman of the Infection Control Committee and the ICC team heeds our help in the unique situation we are faced with. You, as the safety officers of Cardinal, let us answer the call to build a safe culture in our hospital. At this point, before we proceed with the orientation, I invite you to use the chat box while the briefing is ongoing, and we will try to answer most, if not all, your questions after the safety officer's orientation. Once again, may I please remind everyone to mute your mics. Thank you. To present the safety officer's tasks and responsibilities, let us listen to our Senior Assistant Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Rose Serrano.
Thank you, Dr. Amaget. Good day to everyone, especially to our safety officers. And I am Dr. Rose Serrano, and I am here to give you the whats, the whys, and the hows of being a safety officer. Why did the task force organize this team of safety officers? First, because we all want to protect our patients and staff from potential exposure to the COVID-19 infection in the hospital, especially now that COVID cases have been increasing. Second, because we want to empower and motivate our staff to be responsible and accountable for their safety. I'm sure that many of our safety officers here are eager to know what will be their exact role in this project and what are expected of them as safety officers. First and foremost, you should be role models in your respective units or departments. In other words, you should lead by example and at the same time be the safety marshals who are tasked to monitor your colleagues' compliance to the established occupational safety and infection control protocols in your workplace. But how are you going to do this? All safety officers should undergo mandatory e-training. You must submit your daily report at the end of your shift or tour of duty. You should be able to track the internal compliance of your staff in your area of responsibility and cascade pertinent learning materials from the COVID task force to your colleagues in your unit. And lastly, ensure that the daily health tracker is accomplished without fail even on holidays, by your colleagues because this daily health tracker is one way of monitoring the health status in your unit. For the Safety Officer of the Month, it is the responsibility of the department heads to submit the names of their safety officers. The safety officers to be chosen need not be a high-ranking member of your department. In fact, the rank-and-file members are preferred. The names of the safety officers should be submitted and emailed to the COVID Task Force every third Monday of the month. How do you prepare yourself for this very important role? First, take the mandatory e-training. The e-training will be open for access every fourth Monday of the month preceding the reporting month. There will be a post-test and the passing score is 75%. If you fail, don't be discouraged or feel bad. Just retake the post-test till you pass. Unlimited times yan. When you pass, you are now declared a Jedi, just like Master Yoda. By the way, for the department heads, we would prefer that you submit to us the names of your safety officers till December of this year, so we won't have to bother you every month. Reporting should be done by accessing the survey management system through this link and clicking the box indicating proceed as guest, then answering the safety officer's information. Just proceed to answer the following questions, and this pertains to the prescribed PPE, hand hygiene, physical distancing, donning and doffing protocols as applicable, and the occupational safety protocols. Now the last step is to click submit, and you're done in 4 easy steps, right? The next question is, who should be monitored? All the staff in your unit under your scope of responsibility as a safety officer should be monitored. This includes all employees, outsourced personnel assigned in your unit, for example, the housekeeping staff or even security, and doctors, no? In other words, everyone in your unit should be monitored. And when should you submit your report? At the end of your shift or tour of duty. Now, what should you do if you encounter a non-compliant staff in your unit? Well, for the first offense, you can just remind them about these safety protocols. For the second offense, you have to retrain them. And for the third offense, in other words, yung mga matitigas ang ulo at pasaway, report them to your department head. And the division head should also be copied in your report. So for employees, of course, report to the department head, division head, and HRD. For medical trainees, report to the department chair concerned and the Office of the Graduate Medical Education, as well as the Chief Medical Officer's Office. For consultants, report to the concerned department chair and the Chief Medical Officer. And for outsourced personnel, you should report to the department and division heads overseeing their functions. By the way, make sure that you do internal tracking of your staff who are the pasaways. Your goal is to convert them to become mindful and aware of the safety protocols in your workplace. Lastly, there is a second layer of monitoring, which will be conducted by the infection control team. So our ICT will conduct random spot checking in the various areas of the hospital. But wait, there's more. Cognizant of the vital role that our safety officers will play in making our hospital a safe haven for everyone, deserving safety officers and the most compliant units will be accorded due recognition, and this will be announced at the end of the month. May I now take this opportunity to thank all of you in advance, our safety officers, for accepting this enormous challenge in order to keep our hospital safe for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rose Serrano, for a concise orientation briefing. You have covered the primary roles and responsibilities of the safety officer, basically to communicate the safety information to his or her unit. Also showed us mechanisms on compliance monitoring, which is geared more to enhance safe behavior practices. I now open the floor to a 10-minute Q&A. You may use the chat function of Zoom. Please input any questions into the Q&A option. Any questions not addressed during the question and answer portion will be responded to offline. There's a suggestion here from Dr. Uy. May I encourage everyone to put their video on? No need. She would like to see everyone who are participating right now. Hold on, we just have a little bit of technical difficulties in. We're okay. So any questions you have, you can put it in the chat box. So for our first question, Dr. Rose will be responding. As a safety officer, how will I know that I am doing things correctly? And who shall I call if I have questions during my shift or tour of duty?
Okay, thank you, Margaret. Well, at the end of the week, after the first week of implementation, we will be calling for a Zoom meeting, no, of all the safety officers for that month in order to get your feedback. And if you have any issues, so we can be able to address them at the soonest time possible. Oh, sorry for that. There's another glitch. Margaret's phone is not unmuted. So please unmute.
Dapat siguro unmute everyone, no? The next question is, in the case of the e-learning, can this be done earlier for the safety officers who will be coming in this August? It says in your video that it starts the 4th Monday of the month. So we are asking if it can be done earlier than the 4th Monday of this month in July.
Yes. The COVID task force has decided to move it at an earlier date, especially now that we have been getting an increased number of cases of COVID. So we will be opening the e-learning on Wednesday, July 22, for access of our access of our safety officers.
Thank you. The next question is, will I still be able to do my usual tasks or work during my duty, since being a safety officer is not part of my job description?
Yes, you should go on and continue your usual job, but you have to be a keen observer. You have to monitor your colleagues in terms of adhering to those safety protocols. So you just have to observe, no? Observe what's going on around in your unit.
Thank you, Dr. Rose. Are there other reminders you would like to add?
Well, I think the safety officer's role is very, very relevant and important, no? Especially in this time of the COVID crisis. So you are very, very important, no? Not only in your unit, but in the entire hospital. So aside from keeping your unit safe, keep yourself safe too.
Thank you. So if there are no, may I make a comment? Dr. Rose, I'm sorry, Dr. Zenaida Uy. Naka-mute ba si Doktora? Pwedeng paki-unmute na lang.
Maybe you can unmute everybody, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, someone unmuted me already. I can speak. I'm no longer mute. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for attending this very important briefing. As everyone knows, we are in difficult times. The last week and starting this week, the hospital is full. At around 11 o'clock this morning, there were 10 patients in the ER that we cannot admit. And all the COVID wards, 6 main, 3 extension, 3 annex, and the one on 6 extension for our healthcare workers are all filled up. We have, I'll just give you a number about how many healthcare workers are affected. 42, 18 are admitted. And the sad part is we only have 14 beds available for our healthcare workers in the 6 extension. We're trying to really do everything we can to provide more rooms, but unfortunately, we are also limited with staff to handle our COVID patients. There are plans to hopefully be able to open 5 extension. These are new rooms which have not been used by our patients. That's 24 beds, which is on top of 3 extension. This would be really isolated from the main hospital building. We're fixing it to be able to admit more patients. But once the 5 extension is opened as a COVID ward, then we will close 3 annexes as a COVID ward because it is really in the main hospital building. And there are concerns regarding its proximity to the operating room. And we do see the importance of taking it out from that space. I know a lot of you, there are a lot of doctors I'm seeing in this Zoom meeting. That's why I wanted to see the faces of everyone, because you would be the ears and the eyes of the task force in terms of maintaining patient safety in our hospital. Before COVID, I used to do that. I walk the halls of this hospital every day and see what's going on. But since COVID and I'm an elderly medical director, I really cannot walk the hospitals, the halls of this hospital anymore. And so I need you. We need you really badly. So you would be our eyes, and you have to report to us what you see. There are a lot of people working here who violate the guidelines that we have crafted by the task force. Parang, binabaliwala yung mga dapat nating gawin. At the present time, I think this is just my assessment and looking at the situation. The increasing number of COVID positive healthcare workers, I think, is not really coming from the hospital, but came from the community, and our healthcare workers come and they bring it here to the hospital. Because I believe that most of you are already following the donning, doffing, and how to take care of yourself, and but commuting to work, going home to your family, and coming back to the hospital. I think what you practice here inside the hospital, you should also practice in your homes, especially if there are other members of the family who go in and out, who does the grocery, who goes to the market. I mean, you know, these are the people who are bringing in the COVID into your homes, and you need to properly take care of yourself. We do not eat together. I'm sorry, we need to isolate ourselves. It is lonely to eat alone, but that's how life is. It's a pandemic and there's nothing we can do about it. The task force have worked for more than 4 months now, really hard to keep this hospital a safe hospital for each and everyone, not just for the healthcare workers, but also for the patients who come to us. I am really not sure whether some suggestions that I hear from the doctors is something that should be implemented, but we committed ourselves to helping as many patients as possible. And so we will try and find ways to be able to achieve this goal, help as many patients as possible. We will not burden each and every one of you. We will try and make life easier for you, but we need to work together. Hindi namin kakayanin to. And all the complaints that I hear is because really, there's nobody that is supervising everyone who is on the floors. Parang kanya-kanya. So we came up with this solution, appointing someone in your own unit who will be your safety officer for a month. And so that we can properly do things, you know, properly monitor, and things are done the right way. So again, I wanted to speak because I really want to thank you for agreeing to be part of this endeavor of the task force, and please let us work together. May mga tanong na we should answer. You can take over, Margaret. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Just unmute everybody.
I'm sorry for that. Thank you, Dr. Oy. Yes, we have some questions here. Are you going to furnish each department of the details of that Dr. Rose just presented? Yes, we will be furnishing each department of this. The next question, Doctora. Is there any guidelines or manuscripts to be distributed in the unit in order for them to be aware of safety protocols?
Yes, Margaret. In fact, what is specified in the e-learning would be distributed to the units also, so that everybody, no exception, everybody will be aware of these occupational and safety protocols, especially that of infection control.
Dr. Uy, would you like to take the floor?
Are you going to test all healthcare workers of our hospital? Is Paulo here? Yes, Paulo, I see you. We just had a MANCO meeting this morning. I will not recommend, nor even does DOH or WHO recommend a PCR for everyone. In our hospital at the present time, all our healthcare workers who work in the COVID wards are tested regularly. However, those who are not working in the COVID wards are not tested. The available rapid antibody test that is being used, lateral something, Paulo, is not advisable, so we are not advising it. However, the ELISA one, the antibody testing, there is the IgG only that is available. And according to our head of pathology, the IgM part is going to be available by the end of this month. So please, let's just please wait for that, because I think that would be a good test to use for all our healthcare workers. As well, hopefully our own molecular lab will be operational by the first week of September, and we would be able to monitor our people better. So bear with us. We are doing everything we can to see to it that you know, our healthcare workers are safe, they are tested properly. Every time there is an exposure of a healthcare worker, they are at risk assessed by our infection control team. And if you are risk assessed as high risk, then mandatory you will be swabbed. But if you are low risk, then you are not going to be swabbed. You will just be monitored. We are also following guidelines put forth by WHO and DOH. So not everyone should undergo a PCR. Only if you are exposed and you are high risk, then you will be swabbed by laboratory. Paulo, will we have that ELISA by the end of this month? Can you please update us?
We are
Nagdadrive ka
already
ba?
arranging. Okay lang po. We are already arranging the setting up of the Abbott ELISA ELISA-based
Yes.
antibody testing. And
Okay.
hopefully by the end of this month, we would be able to do test validation already.
Okay. So that will be the test that we can use on our healthcare workers, correct?
Yes, yes. This is the available is IgG, but by mid-August, IgM will also be available.
Okay. So, and then our molecular lab will be operational by September.
Hopefully, September it is going to be operational.
Okay, thank you, Pablo. So everyone, you know, things are being done. We're not, you know, sleeping on the job. We're trying to create things to make it our hospital safer. So just bear with us, but we need to help each other. There's another question. Okay, Val, will there be a safety officer assigned in the donning and doffing areas in the high-risk areas working in shifts? Would this, I haven't read the whole program. Rose, can you please just answer this? Will this be part of the responsibility of the safety officer in the unit?
Yes, Doctora, that will be covered, no? Because the safety officer assigned is per unit. So, for example, in the OR, in the DR, so it's per unit.
So if there are no more additional questions, again, we're pressed for time, but some of the questions that were posted here regarding the safety officers will be taken up offline. Regarding the guidelines, this will be sent to the departments as Dr. Rose has said. Before we end this webinar, may I call our President and CEO, Attorney Pilar Nenuca P. Almira, to give the closing remarks.
Good day, everyone. This is a wonderful time once again for Cardinal Santos Medical Center. I greet you, all our great caring Cardinal leaders, a wonderful day. I would like now to welcome you all, dear safety officers coming from different divisions, and thank you so much to our management committee for having endorsed our new set and team, who we now will call safety officers of Cardinal Santos Medical Center. Dear safety officers, You see, during this time and in the months and days ahead, you will be playing a very key role in our hospital. For the past months, our COVID task force in Cardinal Santos Medical Center has been very active in putting together all the protocols to ensure safety of everyone. Patients, the relatives of the patients, doctors, our employees, and all our other stakeholders who come to the hospital. Yet, what we know is that these policies wouldn't be adequate without people who are so dedicated and committed to enforce their implementation and consistency in abiding with all these policies and procedures in the floors. And yes, dear safety officers, you will be playing a key role by making sure that within your area of responsibility, within your reach, in your respective division, you will now be the torchbearers to ensure that all these safety protocols will be implemented and will be followed by everyone in the name of respect and in the name of cooperation. So it doesn't stop from just implementing them there, because once in a while, as human beings, we forget. And there may be sometimes lapses in adherence to all these policies and procedures. So, dear safety officers, you will need to make sure that they are reminded and they are also somehow communicated to our quality assurance group and our COVID task force, so that there could be proper coaching, counseling, and mentoring. That way, we will be developing the culture of safety all over in our hospital. And you will be the link, you will be the light, you will be the torchbearer to make sure that this culture is alive, not only in your division, but you will also be helping the entire hospital by being the model in your division. So, dear safety officers, congratulations for having been endorsed by your division head to play this key role in our hospital. Indeed, please take it as a gift and a blessing. A wonderful day to all of you. May God bless us all and stay safe.
Thank you, Attorney Almira, for those very inspiring words for our safety officers. To all our safety officers, your task ahead will impact the lives of the persons around you and much more. On behalf of the Infection Control Committee and the CSMC COVID Task Force, thank you for taking time off from your busy schedules to grace this afternoon's webinar. Keep safe and have a good afternoon.